Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so sitting back thinking, made a video just now reporting the news of Jeremy Grant going to the Portland Trail Blazers, and I stumbled across an idea at the end of the video that I kind of want to elaborate on and kind of visit and see if it makes sense, because I think right now, even though don't get it twisted, I believe this player can go anywhere he wants to go. Anywhere he wants to go. But I do not think that everywhere has his money or has the situation or has the win now attitude or what have you for Kevin Durant. That is who we're talking about. If Kyrie Irving is leaving the Nets, um, Ben Simmons' health is a question, and we don't know what he's going to be coming in as next year. And I don't think he's the best running mate for KD in the league right now, or the best option for KD. He has better options for his upcoming season, which is a very important season for him because he's he's getting up there in age, and his legacy is important, and he's trying to build upon that. So um, obviously that's not the best place for him anymore. So what I'm trying to figure out is where he is now. Here's the thing. I haven't thought this all the way through. All right, so if you guys see an angle on this situation that I'm not bringing up and makes this like ridiculous, then I'm cool with that. I'm just brainstorming right now, assuming that KD's going to have to find somewhere to play, and that it's not going to be Golden State because of their cap situation. So where does he go? Anywhere he wants, first of all. But I'm going to make the case for the Portland Trailblazers. They just acquired Jeremy Grant. They got Dame Lillard on tab, of whom I think they want to keep. And they have a bunch of cap space after that. Like at that point, they don't even have the contracts to match the deal because they don't have anyone signed to represent that space. So like they got free cap space that they're going to give to somebody just outright. And I think that KD is a good candidate as anybody if you're the Portland Trailblazers. Dame Lillard needs to win right now. And what you just acquired was a designated defensive player in Jeremy Grant. Somebody who's going to be on the floor to lock people up, to take pressure off of Kevin Durant if he were to be there, and obviously Dame Lillard in real life right now. Now, there are a lot of options the Portland Trailblazers can go in, and I think trying to get a center makes a lot of sense. So trying to be in play for Ayton may actually be the best move for the Portland Trailblazers. But I think Ayton is going to have a multitude of suitors, and I think the Portland Trailblazers have a multitude of options as well. I look at Kevin Durant, and I can honestly say I have not thought out any other destinations as a fit. I've just come to the conclusion that this could be one. That's really all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the best fit because I haven't thought that far ahead, honestly. But the case for the Portland Trailblazers is the fact that they're building something that is win now, and I believe they have an aggressive mindset because they've been kind of stranglehold by their situation for the past several years. So I'd imagine they're hungry to win just off the strength of being in that situation, and imagine how it feels to be in a situation such as that. You don't want to just come out from under it. You want to celebrate something. And most importantly, the Portland Trailblazers are a team that needs to win. They like just for their team, it's time for them to have excitement in their franchise again. They have a great fan base. Rip City is ready to explode, and I just don't think they've had a reason to because of the stranglehold that past mistakes put them in cap-wise. So they just made a big move to get a big-time defensive player, but Jeremy Grant is nobody's number 2. He's not. I don't know he's even a number 3. And they got him on a deal for 2 years, $10 million a year. So that means within these 2 years, they're going to try to get the most out of him. Most out of themselves. If you're going to keep Dame Lillard, you got to think about winning right here and now. Right here and now. Now, the issue for him is what condition he's going to be coming back in. That's the question I have about Dame Lillard. The Portland could be going all in they want to. But if Dame ain't healthy and he misses the whole season or half the season with the growing, it don't matter all these moves they're going to make. It's going to be for nothing. But if you're the Portland Trailblazers, maybe you have a 2-year plan because of that. Maybe you whatever the case may be, if you're assuming that they're not going to trade Dame Lillard, then it's reasonable to think that they're going to try to bring him someone that can legitimately help him win a championship. Now, like I said, they have a multitude of options, and those options are not stranglehold to free agents, which is why I brought Kevin Durant into the fold. They could literally trade for anybody with these circumstances and pick up any free agent they want to, for as long as they keep this cap space available. But if you want to win now, if you're trying to keep Dame Lillard's timeline in mind, then you're going to pick up somebody like Kevin Durant, who needs to win now, or Bradley Beal, or someone like that. But I look at Bradley Beal and the fit, and I'm like, all right, well, they just had C.J. McCollum. I don't think Bradley Beal and C.J. McCollum are that far apart. They have some of the same strengths and weaknesses. So I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense. But, I look at KD's situation. I say, well, that's a different type of player. That's a wing. That gives you length personified. And you couple that with Jeremy Grant. Now, granted, I would love for them to have a pass-first player somewhere in the mix, because I don't see anybody who's going to get everybody the ball. Dame I don't look at as a facilitator, but he can get assists, and KD can assist as well. But it would be assists by committee rather than having somebody facilitate, which is something I think they need if they were to do something like this. But I tell you, there will be some needs that they have athletically if they do this. But I think ultimately, if they're able to do what they need to do, you get a little more out of Nasir Little. I don't know who you're able to retain if you make a trade like this, but like I said, they have literally like $20 million worth of cap spaces just sitting there. Nurkic is off the books at 12, so it's like they got cap space. They could just take on a third team's bad contract to help supplement whatever position they need to supplement to help make this team come together, is what I'm saying to you. The third team fixes all of this. So that's what I think makes a lot of sense. You talk to KD, you figure out if he wants to live in Portland. I don't know, but I don't think I don't know what his mindset would be. Maybe he wants to stay back east, but I'm just thinking, like, if he wants to win right now, establish his legacy, helping Dame win. Obviously you're going to join him, it's his team, but joining the Portland Trailblazers and helping them get a victory, a championship, or what have you, even getting them to the finals is a very big deal for their franchise, for the community over there. And I think it would just ultimately put KD closer back to Golden State. It's not San Francisco, Oakland area, but it's in the vicinity. It's close. Maybe you can kind of see a little familiarity in that way. I don't know. Just kind of brainstorming, but at the end of the day, I can just think of a lot of worse places KD can try to find himself, chasing the big name franchise, or maybe trying to go to certain other types of fits. I do see the fruit in surrounding him with more athleticism. I do see the fruit in putting him in a pass first player's circumstance. So I'm not saying Dame is the best fit necessarily for KD, but it does give him a mature running mate that gives him a similar dynamic that he would have had with Kyrie, which is something he believed in a great deal. And I think you can rely upon Dame. I think that's what you're investing in. You're not necessarily investing in anything else other than the fire and the determination and the clutch ability and scoring ability of Dame Lillard. Somebody that stands on principle. Somebody that is going to be in Portland. He ain't, he's not about to sell out for nothing. And I think he would be very, very, very happy to have someone like KD go to war and go to bat for him in the final years of their careers. I just think that's a decent championship contending team right there. If you could put them together and give them a couple years together to get them learn each other and figure it out. Personality wise, I don't know. I think they're both very, very, very serious about how they feel about things and all of that. I can see them clashing for sure, but I can also see them winning. I could definitely see them winning, and I don't think they'd have a problem with who would take the last shot, because it would be a trust situation where you trust Dame Lillard and you trust KD. They ain't missing. Neither one of them gonna miss, and that's the point. Even good defenses ain't gonna be able to stop them, not them, so long as they're working together, which I don't think is gonna be a problem at all, especially at this stage in Dame Lillard's career, when he's worked certain other things into his game other than scoring over the years. He's a better facilitator now. He's a better rebounder now. And I think he's a better team defensive player now. I think that's a good situation with Jeremy Grant now in place. That gives them, like I said, a designated defensive player to make sure that they don't have to be the best defensive players in the world. And given the fact that KD is already gifted defensively, naturally, he and Jeremy Grant are a problem together. I am telling you, that is a problem. You're going to get the most out of KD defensively when you got Jeremy Grant next to him, hovering and sliding and all of that. That's scary as hell, I'm telling you. And you can get away with not having the most talented center in that situation because both of those guys should, in theory, be able to help with rim protection. It's a much better small ball situation than most. So that's why I think it's okay to do, because you can supplement it with getting an average defensive-minded center or a really, really good scoring center to help complement what they do. It's all in theory. Preferably, you want some of everything. But I think at the end of the day, it's not like you have to say, okay, well, they don't have a center, so this is no good. Not necessarily. Not with that type of length on the floor. So, and I'm not even taking into account Nasir Little, what he can do for them, and whoever else they'll be able to put on tab, even though they'll be capped all the way out if they do something like this. Because we already know they'll be capped out. But only for a couple seconds, because Jeremy Grant's going to be coming off the book as an expiring contract next year. They can trade at the deadline if necessary. Create some cap space if necessary, but I don't think they will, because he's going to be a key piece playing defense for them. So that looks pretty good. KD's on for 5 years, so you're not worrying about him entering free agency at all. He would be looking to finish his career in Portland, in my opinion, with that deal. But I think I don't know KD at all. I couldn't tell you if he would like Portland or not. But I think, from what I see from afar, his personality in Portland doesn't seem like the worst fit in the world to me. I don't know the man, but I just don't get the feeling he would have the worst couple of years living in that area. And that's just coming from someone who's known people from Portland. They work hard, man. They work hard, and they live quiet, and the weather's rain. He's from D.C. I don't know. I don't know. So I just think it's an option. And I think it's a decent one because of because of the fire and determination to win of a Dame Lillard. I know that man want to win. And so I think KD can help him do that. So that's what I think. When you're going up against the likes of the Lakers, who already have a big three, even though we're a little shallow, and you look at all these different teams, if you guys want to win, you got to do something like this, in my opinion. It's going to be something like this for KD. He's going to have to go to somebody's squad. If it's not Dame, it's got to be probably Giannis or somebody like that. He's going to have to go to somebody's squad if he wants to win. And like I said, I don't think it's in Golden State's best interest to do that necessarily, because they're going to have to gut too much of what it is that they really, really need. I think their most important priority is to keep those defensive players, Looney and Payton. I think that's the most important thing. If they can't keep those people, I think they're a different team. So I don't know. I don't know about bringing in KD. I don't know that is the answer necessarily anymore. I don't know that, especially if they don't have the bench and the defensive players. So Portland, I don't know. It might be a better fit. I've already mentioned San Antonio as a fit for KD, in my opinion. Just Popovich and his win now attitude. DeJounte Murray and his ability to get people the ball and defend on the other side. I really like that for KD to slip right in there, depending on what they'd have to give up to get him. I think that could be an incredible fit with those young players. You know what I mean? Unassuming places is kind of where I see KD going. Not necessarily the Clippers or the Lakers or the Knicks. No. For KD, since he's a player who loves the beauty of great basketball, I think he needs to find that great fit once again. When he was thinking like that, he went to Golden State, he won. He needs to think like that again. Forget all this narrative nonsense. That's bullcrap. The only thing that ever matters is that you won. They're going to criticize you no matter what. Just win. So find a spot that gives you the best fit would be my suggestion to him. And I go back to where Dame Lillard is, and I say, that's all right there. Because you know that dude's hitting shots. They ain't triple teaming you like that because they can't. Not with him running around being able to shoot from 40 feet, 30 feet, just like Steph Curry. I mean, a lot of people are pointing out the fact that KD did benefit a great deal on the offensive end from the fact that Steph Curry was always capable of spreading the floor so far, right? So far. So I think he needs to try to recreate that dynamic once again, which is another reason why I think Dame Lillard makes sense. Or Trae Young, but Trae Young is a little different because he's a he's still developing, believe it or not. Even though he's such a phenomenal talent, it's different. Your timeline, I think, is in theory a bit better if you go with Dame. In theory, who knows? Hey, maybe that's an option too. I think about it, maybe it is. But staying with the Portland Trailblazers, I think he would have a win now situation, and so on and so forth. So, with KD, he can slip in anywhere. He really could. He can go up to Minnesota if he wanted to. And that would be a deadly fit for him as well. He can go over there in Memphis, fit right in with those guys. Even though I think he and Kate in Morant would, I don't know if that would work necessarily, but this is why I think he should join a vet. This is why. He needs to find somebody who's hungry and who's mature enough to go after it. You know what I mean? Somebody who's going to get it. And so my thoughts was either Bradley Beal for KD. You know what I mean? If Bradley were to go to Brooklyn, I think that would be pretty good for him and Ben Simmons, right? That makes a lot of sense to me. Keep him in place. Or looking for a spot like one of the ones I mentioned, Portland here. That's the type of thing. I've always wanted to see him play with Brandon Ingram, to be honest with you. If you join the Pelicans, they win the championship. If the Pelicans were able to acquire Kevin Durant without giving up Alvarado or Murphy or Ingram or Zion, are those the names? And Jones, those are the names. If they can find a way to bring him to that core, those guys, they might be able to win the championship. I don't think anything can keep them from winning the championship. So, like I said, KD has plenty of options if he really, really wants them. But at the end of the day, he knows for a fact he can rely upon Dame Lillard to want to win right here and now, and they have his money. That's the moral of the story. You ain't got to move pieces around. You got to worry about who you're going to be playing with. They're building their team as they are talking about it, as we speak about it right now. That is what they're doing. They're bringing together whatever their vision is. I'm pretty certain if they didn't have KD within their vision, and he says, you know what, I want to be a part of your vision, they will switch up that vision. I guarantee you that. So that's what I got to say. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching, and I'm out.